Hello, Year 7. I'm just going to run through Thursday's work with you so you can get some feedback on your answers. I was very impressed with how hard some of you have worked. So we were looking today at the reasons for and against organ donation. So why would we give a body part to another person? What would be the benefits to that person? What situations would we be able to give an organ to these different people? Okay. So before you begin today, I asked you to do 5 minutes of reading through these revision notes: cells, tissues, organs, organ systems. I asked you to watch this video clip so you knew the difference, okay, and to make sure that you were starting the lesson with this information fresh in your mind. The next few slides were questions about those revision notes that you read, so it's quite obvious to me if you hadn't read the revision notes. What is the smallest level of organization in an organism? This is a cell. Lots of cells working together makes the next level. What is this? So cells work together to make a tissue. The heart, stomach, and skin are all examples of organs. The heart and blood vessels all work together to circulate blood around the body. What is this an example of? When organs work together to do a similar job, we call that an organ system. Which of these would you find in the musculoskeletal system? So the heart pumps blood, that's not to do with muscles and skeletons. The stomach digests food, so that's not to do with muscles and skeletons. And the lungs breathe, it's where the gas changes from your blood to your lungs. That's to do with breathing and respiration. So the answer must have been ligaments. The lungs and windpipe make up which system? So thinking back last lesson to those life processes, lungs and windpipe are to do with breathing and respiration. So it will be the respiratory system. So why might people need organs? Basically, some organs cannot carry out or work as well as they should do. Sometimes they fail entirely. And the problem with this is that could be fatal. If your heart stops working, then you're not going to survive very long without blood being pumped around your body. So if an organ becomes damaged or diseased or fails, you may need a transplant. And a transplant is where they take something from one place and they move it into another place. So in this case, they would take an organ out of one body and they would put it into another body. This is when the faulty organ is replaced with another from somewhere else. The problem is that we can't make new organs, so we have to use ones from other people. Okay? Not very many organs can be taken from people without causing serious harm. Some living donors can give one of their kidneys or a part of their liver. So a living donor means you are alive, your body is working perfectly well, but you have an extra kidney. So we have 2 kidneys in our body. We can survive with 1 kidney. So you can give a kidney to another person if your genetics match or your blood types match. Part of the liver is one special organ in the body that can actually grow parts of itself again. So if you can take a small part of your liver out, that will grow back in your body, and you can put that liver in another person and it will grow and fill the space so that you end up, both of you, with a full liver. You can also donate some tissues. So people can donate skin in a skin graft, bone. I'm not sure which spare bones you maybe have. Bone marrow, which is tissue inside the bones that makes red blood cells, makes other parts of your blood. You can donate blood. This is probably the most common. Sometimes heart valves need to be replaced. So instead of getting it from a living donor, we could get it from a different animal. So there's been quite a few cases where pig valves have been taken out of a pig's heart because they're a similar size and a similar shape to human hearts. Or we can use, scientists can make their own. They can use valves or mechanical things. They can build them in a lab and then put them into a body. Okay. However, for organs such as the heart, the donor has to be dead before the organ can be taken from them. And this raises a lot of questions about ethics. Now, quite a few people highlighted the word ethics. Ethics means, is it right or wrong? Is it okay to do this or is it not okay? So, Can we use anyone's organs? Not really. The new organ needs to be healthier than the old one. There's no point transplanting a faulty organ in place of a faulty organ. You also need to have a compatible blood type. So you need to have kind of very similar matching biology with the person receiving it. Otherwise, your body will think it's a foreign object or it shouldn't be there, and it will try and fight it off like an infection. This can still happen even if you have compatible blood types. People who have organ transplants have to take a lot of medicine to make sure that their organs are not rejected. The new organ also has to be the right size. So you couldn't take an adult heart and put it in a child's body because the heart would be too big. Equally, you wouldn't take a baby's heart and put it in an adult's body because it just wouldn't be big enough. Okay, so you came up with some really good reasons about why we should do it. For people who are very ill, such as those with liver failure or heart conditions, getting a transplant can be the difference between life or death. If a willing and suitable live donor is available, there's no reason not to go ahead with it if they're willing to do it. If someone is dead, they no longer need their organs, so they should go to someone living. Heart valves can come from pigs, killed for meat, or be made artificially. So if we're eating bacon and sausages anyway, is it not wise to use the extra heart parts to fix people? Okay, you came up with lots of great ideas about why we shouldn't do it. Taking organs from someone and putting them into someone else's body is wrong. It's playing God. So do we have the right? If you're ill and you're not supposed to survive, is it okay for us to decide that you should do that? That's what playing God means. The organs have to be a match and might be rejected by the body, which could be very dangerous. So if your body starts rejecting the organ, it thinks you're being poisoned, and it will do anything it can to fight that off, and that could lead to you dying anyway. So, it's a dangerous situation. Some people might not want to be cut open and have bits taken out of them when they die. And people who damage their body through lifestyle choices such as drinking or smoking shouldn't get new organs. So if you drink alcohol all your life, or you've taken drugs that have damaged your liver, should you be given a new liver because you made a choice that caused you to damage it? Okay, now we can't just take organs from anyone without permission. This would make a lot of people upset or angry. We used to have an opt-in system where people had to sign up to become organ donors, and then they would be added to a register. They would have a card that they carried around, and if they were involved in an accident, you could then, people would know, doctors would know because they'd find the card in your wallet, and then they would be able to pass your organs on to other people. We last year got a new law in the UK, so if you watched this video, you would know that we got a new law, which is now called an opt-out system. So currently in Britain, everyone over the 18 is considered a willing donor. And you now have to state that you do not want to donate your organs after death. You can still register if you're under 18, but if you're under 18, so if anything happened to you, your family would be the one that made the final decision. So, to finish off today's lesson, you were asked to do some research and to present an argument on organ donation. So that means you decide whether you agree with it or whether you disagree with it. You have to evaluate it by looking at both sides of the argument and then come to a conclusion. Okay? So some people said that they couldn't get this website to work, but that shouldn't have affected your ability to do these research. So I put 4 points down for you to have research. Why donations are needed and how they can help. What problems are there with donor organs? Are there any religious or ethical problems with using them? I asked you to mention the new opt-out system and your thoughts on this, and to make a final conclusion based on everything you have found. So if you did not do this part of the assignment, then I sent your assignment back so that you could finish it. Okay, some of you did some great arguments and had some great conclusions, and I really enjoyed reading them. There is still time for you to complete this work, so if you would like to complete this last slide, I'll make sure I leave the Pear Deck open over the weekend so that you can catch up. Until then, I will see you in the next video.